the $1,500 superbike. I think it's about $1,500 Aussie. $1,500 superbike.
Naturally, I was pretty shocked. I mean, I was quite thrown by it. But I think the more I'm reading up about it now, and the more I've studied what's available online, it's actually quite gives me a lot of confidence in knowing that this isn't just an independent case.
What kind of message do you think that your working relationship with Michele Ferrari sends out to the general sporting public?
Well, David, I'm glad you showed up finally. It's good to see you finally here. Good question. I think that people are not stupid. People will look at the facts. They will say, okay, here's Lance Armstrong. Here's a relationship. Is that questionable? Perhaps. But people are smart. Do they say, has Lance Armstrong ever tested positive? No. Has Lance Armstrong been tested? A lot.
Is it fairly easy to prepare for a test? Like, does it dissipate in your system really quickly?
The half-life of EPO is 4 hours. So you can back it out from there and figure out when you're in trouble.
Will he pass every test because he does not take EPO? Yes, he will.
My defense was that I've passed every control you've given me, and that's true. The samples that were given were clean.
And you never ever stop there. You always went one step further.
Oh no, Alex, I mean, I can't, I would have gone, I mean, if David Walsh wanted to put on boxing gloves, I would have done it right there. Let's go.
You present yourself as the cleanest of clean riders.
And I have the proof.
Yeah,
which you refuse to believe.
Just let me finish the question. You present yourself as the cleanest of clean riders, and yet you associate with somebody whose reputation is incredibly tarnished, and that person is going to go on trial in 2 months' time. Would you not think that it would be in the interest of cycling for you to suspend your relationship with Michele Ferrari until he has answered the charges of which he's accused?
You have a point. It's my choice. I view him as innocent. He's a clean man, in my opinion. Let there be a trial.
If you believe Phil, after he's lied about these Nove bikes, aka light carbon LCR 007, if you believe Phil, if you still believe him, that his watts per kilo is clean, then you are, my friend, naive. Presented by Light Carbon, aka supplier for Nove bikes, and our friend, Cookie Man. Don't be naive. Don't be so naive, people. Question. So welcome to the video, gang. I just wanted to do a bit of housekeeping at the start of the video. One, I've got zero hate or anything towards Phil, Cookie Man, our friend. All these videos is honest. I'm not going to lie to you and make up stories or whatever. This is all just honest happenings that have happened, and I feel it's my duty as a cyclist, journalist, cyclist, YouTuber, vlogger, blogger, whatever you want to call me, troll, whatever, is to report and tell people the truth of what's going on, and just sort of call people out, expose, unmask, whatever you want to call it. And I think Phil, I think he's got a good thing going. He's incredibly fit. He's doing Lance Armstrong style watts. He claims clean, but a lot of us don't believe that. He's got a pretty good lifestyle. He's living in LA. His mum bought him a house in LA. Bought him she also bought him she's a hard-working lady. She bought him a little shack up in the hills. And hey, man, if I had rich parents and they bought me a couple of houses in LA and California, I'd be like, fuck yeah, man, that's pretty cool. So good on him for that, lucky boy. But again, this is no hate. I just feel disappointed, as a lot of other people do, that Phil lied to us about the carbon bike scam. You know, he lied to us about that. He clearly lied to us about it. He still hasn't even owned up or apologized. So for me, that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know, for all the people out there who've bought these frames under the pretense that they weren't from Light Carbon in China, that they were something different, you know, and that they paid $2,500 US when I got that for, I think, was it $650 US, custom color? You know, exact same bike. Everything's the same mold, same workers, same carbon, everything's the same. It's an identical bike, it just doesn't have a nose sticker on it. So I think that Phil, how he lied about that, when people called him out early back in January, so people called him out and he lied about it. You know, people say, oh, he's just covering for his sponsor. Yeah, but he's lied about that. That's fraud, that's scamming, that's hustling. He could have just not answered the question. He could have just ignored it, you know? But when you lie about it, that's fucked. You know, that's really fucked. And then not even lie about it, but like try and say, hey, Durianrider's just a troll. Here's Durianrider's this, Durianrider's that. Then that's what Lance Armstrong did. When people wanted to expose Lance Armstrong for doping, he'd come in there like a bulldozer. And as I say many times, I'm not a Lance Armstrong hater at all. But, you know, Phil's doing the same thing. When you try and expose Phil's lies, he's coming in with a bulldozer and trying to intimidate, etc. And that's wrong. So that's not acceptable behaviour. But yeah, anyway, let's get to the start of the video. I just wanted to say, no hate. Just sharing, honestly, I know I say that a lot in my videos, but honestly, man, just share my comments and criticisms. I think it's wrong to rip people off. I think it's wrong to dope and then have a clean tattoo on your arm and have all these people who think, yeah, wow, you're the greatest, you're doing Lance Armstrong style watts, and you're clean, you're so cool. I think that's wrong. If you want to take drugs and flog it, and that's your life, it's your body, it's your choice. But if you want to dope and have a fucking clean tattoo on there, and then make a whole career, I'm staunch anti-doping, but you're doing fucking Lance Armstrong watts, you're beating Tom Danielson, who's a good mate of yours, who's probably giving you some good tips, obviously. If you're beating Tom Danielson, who's beating Lance, then you know something's up, right? And that's just my opinion. And so that's the opinion of Dr. Ferrari and many racers in the US, and some of Old Cookie Man's teammates who don't buy the story he's telling today. But anyway, it's first world problems. But hey, I'm a cyclist, vlogger, YouTuber, Instagram, whatever you want to call me. Love me or hate me, doesn't matter. I'm just here to speak the absolute truth so you, the viewer, can make up your own mind. What's the best thing to eat? What's the best bike to ride? I hate it when people get fucking ripped off. That really, it really irks me. If I want to hate anything, is I hate people getting scammed like that. So yeah, that's what get me fucking pissed off. So I'm gonna call it out when I see it. You know, I'm gonna call it when I see it. And I love how he's twisting words and trying to say, oh, everyone gets carbon bikes in China and so yeah, that's cool. I do that. Everyone does that. Trek, Specialized, everyone does it. But you lied about it, man. You lied about the source where this bike's coming from. You denied it was Light Carbon Yushin, you know, and you know it is. No, they've even confirmed it. Your sponsor confirmed it, bro. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. You probably watch those videos. Let's get into this video. I'm just disappointed. Did you want to add something, Tasha?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. So hopefully that clears up any confusion. And hey, again, ask questions. Ask me questions. Ask Phil questions. You know, I'm not going to freak out at you. I'm not going to like boom, boom, boom. I know that someone recently asked Phil, why don't you do some blood tests? And he lost his bananas. He lost his cookies. What is it? Is there a packet of cookies around here? There we go. He lost his cookies. He lost his cookies, man. These are vegan Oreos here in Malaysia. He lost his cookies, and I found them. And like, this is what he said. He goes, I did out of competition for 9 years. And then he says, F off, like aggressively. It's like, hang on, this is a fair question someone's asked, all right? You got to remember that Cookie Man is good friends with Tom Danielson, who never tested positive except for once, and he admitted he doped for years. So we know drug tests, now listen up, drug tests are very easy to pass, all right? Just ask anyone who rode for US Postal. Just ask Tom Danielson, who's good friends with old mate Cookie Man, who's doing 455 watts up Norton Summit. and really skinny, really lean, really light, like 66 kilos or whatever. Look how big the dude's arms are, man. You know, his biceps are the same size as like a forearm of a 10-year-old. Like, you know, it's just very, very lightweight. So to do 455 watts, go and try and do 455 watts up your local hill. If it's longer than 30 seconds, you're gonna know how that feels like. You know, and that's in mutant, and that's not even his best. He's done like 470s and that for some clients. That's insane. So, you know, friends with Tom Danielson, friends with Mancebo, rode in the same team as Mancebo, and besties on the team. And then once Mancebo was getting some, you know, disapproval from the public, Cookie Man is going out there trashing Mancebo. But hang on, when they're on the team, they're besties. And Phil was faster than Mancebo when they raced together. You know what I mean? So it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, and I've had friends who've used EPO. I've never used it myself. I'm definitely open to it. If Phil coached me up, or Tom D coached me up, or Lance Armstrong coached me up, I think it'd make a great YouTube series. You know, just to show people how fast you can get on EPO. Obviously, I have to do some training to to justify and qualify for that. To take EPO without training would just be stupid. But I have to do some serious training. Maybe get Phil's coach and get on the same program he's on, and see how would I go at Norton Summit. Maybe Phil we can do a race when he's in January, 2 down under. Maybe we can do that. We can organise that. So yeah, this is the first part of the video. We'll click to the second part of the video in a sec. Ask questions, people. Don't believe me. Don't believe Cookie Man. All right. Look at the fucking numbers. All right. If you look at someone's arms, all right. If you think this is not natty, okay. If you think my 300 watts up Norton Summit or Penang Hill's not natty, or 360 watts, you think that's not natty? Okay. Ask any cycling coach in the world and they'll say, yeah, it is. That's pretty standard. Especially if a guy's been riding for 20 years. I've been riding road bikes since 1997. So 22 years. Going up hills, trying to flex it. So I would say my stuff's pretty normal. I don't think I'll have to do anything suspicious. Cookie Man, on the other hand, 6.5 watts per kilo, 7 watts per kilo, the same as Lance Armstrong. It is interesting stuff. It is interesting stuff. And people say, oh, that's on fresh legs. Yeah, Lance Armstrong's time up the Coldham Ladone is on fresh legs. Alright? And Phil would beat that. So that says a lot. Anyway, let's get to the second part of the video. I just record this first part and then we'll flip it around. Anyway, ask questions. Ask questions. You can ask me anything and I don't flip out, I don't block people or da-da-da. If you ask me, hey Harley, what's this? Someone said this about you. I'll answer that. I've done many videos about it. But if you ask someone a question and they try and shame you or tell you to F off or whatever, that speaks volumes, man. If someone really freaks out, that speaks volumes. That's what Lance Armstrong was used to do. Freak out, sue people, blah, 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 blah. Create an atmosphere with the press where they couldn't question anything. Remember when the French press used to question him? And Lance would get all like flustered and get all ruffled and try and get everyone to hate the journalist who was asking the question. That's a very powerful tactic. Now, I'm a Lance fan, by the way. Always have, always will be. I think he just made cycling so great. But it was really interesting if you study the tactics he used against the press, the French press or the US press, even in the acquisition or whatever it's called, Inquisition, where he's like, if it can't be any clearer, I've never used performance-enhancing drugs. How clear can I get? And he's getting all like offended and he's trying to intimidate the interviewer. And that's the same tactics that Phil does. Phil and Lance also have got two things in common together. They're putting out the same 20-minute watts per kilo, and they both ended their careers in Adelaide. Let's get to part 2 of the video. Question, am I doping? Am I a doper? Are these muscles? Is this natural? Is this natty or enhanced? Is Durianrider, have I become a fake natty? If you compare this to 2011, I reckon I look about the same. 2012. Am I a fake natty? Am I microdosing gear? Did I dope to get the Penang Hill KOM? Is 311 watts for 33 minutes doping at about, I don't know what I am, 66 or 70 kilos, I don't know, I don't weigh myself anymore. 310 watts of this physique Am I doping for 310 watts? I don't know. What do you think? After 20 years of riding hills almost every day, or at least every week. Is that natty? Is that possible? Is it possible to do 300 watts for 30 minutes after 20 years of riding? I don't know. I'd say yes. That's probably possible. Now, I don't think it's just anything suspicious. I don't think anything I do is suspicious. The watts I do, the watts per kilo I do, I should say. Because it's all about watts per kilo. Let's say you're Cookie Man, which, again, bring him up, is a great example of someone who claims clean but puts out massively suspicious watts on Strava because he's doing 6.5 watts per kilo to 7 watts per kilo for some of these climbs. He's beating dopers like Tommy D, our friend Forfin, Lance Armstrong. Phil Gaimon goes faster than Lance Armstrong, would go faster up Lance Armstrong than up Mount Washington, etc. He's beaten Tommy D's time up there. And Tommy D was faster than Lance Armstrong climbs. So Phil Gaimon literally faster than Lance Armstrong up a 20-minute climb. If there was a 1999 race with Lance, the 2019 or 2018 or 2017 Phil, when Phil's in form on the cycle, Phil's going to finish in front. So I would say that's suspicious. It's all about your watts per kilo. Or it's all about how big are your arms, right? Some people might go, hey, dude, put the little chicken wings away. So, oh my God, that's a huge arm. That's like at least a 10-inch bicep all the way around. So is that, I do like that, I make it a little bigger, but that's what it looks like in real life. So am I a fake natty? Am I one of those fake natties just pumping up, lying to your face to sell you some muscle eats program or whatever? Dime a dozen, they're out there. Oh, that's part of the deal. It's part of business, all right? So yeah, so there you go. You just got to answer the question. Are my results pretty commonplace? Fucking oath they are. I rate myself as a climber though. I'll go pretty good. To beat me, if you're beating me, then you're a fucking pretty good rider. You're a pretty good rider. You're probably half my age, or you're just a bit lighter maybe. But you're pretty good. If you beat me on the climb, hats off to you. If you totally drop me in the first minute at 6.5 watts per kilo and then hold that for another 10 minutes, then yeah, that's very, very suspicious. And if we look back at the history of cycling doping, the people who got busted at the Tour de France on EPO, they were all doing that magic anything over 6 watts per kilo for 20-something minutes. They're starting to get a little bit, interesting, especially after, end of the stage, etc. maybe. It depends how the stages play, because a lot of stages are done where the breakaway goes away, the big hitters just sit in a bunch, talk about what podium chicks they bang like at the Dauphiné, etc., blah, 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 and then the last climb, they light it up, all right? So they're doing 100, 200 watts for the first 3 hours, and then on the last climb. So racing ain't racing. The guys in the breakaway at the front, they're racing. They're swapping off turns. They're on threshold for 3 hours. They're going to average 300 watts for the few hours they're out there. Those guys are really pushing it. The guys with 5 teammates around them, going back to the team car, getting water bottles, they're just sitting along. The Bali crew, they're just sitting along the bunch, just doing it easy. And then the last day of their climb, boom. They're not like flat knackers in the Tour de France, So a lot of journalists say, oh, they're out there, racing for 5 hours and the sun's up and down the mountains. They're not really. I mean, watching most of these stages, there's a big breakaway, big gap, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes even sometimes, right? In a peloton of 170 riders, for 2 or 3 or 4 riders to get a big gap, you know that the peloton's just cruise along. Right? If you've ever done a race before, or even a stage race, which I've done a few back in the day, 2017 was the last one, so it's all about watts per kilo. That's why Greg LeMond always said, fuck the blood tests, they don't mean shit because you can manipulate them. Put power meters in everybody's bike, weigh the athlete every morning, and then you'll know who's doping and who's actually clean. So there you go. And there's plenty of people that I've coached up who are as muscular as me or as lean as me. There's a dime a dozen. There's plenty of guys out there who've come to Chiang Mai and done the high carb, high cadence Durianrider Sugar Mountains thing as lean as me, and they've beaten my times or gotten really close to it up Doi Satep. All right, so I'm not like an outlier on this lifestyle that I promote. I'm pretty much standard, and you can go a lot beyond me fitness-wise. There's plenty of guys. There's a guy in Adelaide who does a 104 half marathon. He's vegan. So there's plenty of people doing this lifestyle, high carbon up, who are way, way, way quicker than I am, and clean. 104, that's natty time for sure. So it's a funny world we live in though. But people, my goal was always to educate people, and I've done my little steroid videos and stuff like that where I show people, how easy it is to get. There's so many people out there who obviously clearly using steroids, which I've got no problem with. I guess when you're lying to your audience and people are buying your ebook or buying your program or whatever, thinking they're going to look like you, they're never going to look like you unless they start taking the same gear for the same dosages and the same amount of time that you do. But I showed people how easy it is to get stuff from the local family doctor. I showed people how cheap it is, a couple $100 a year maybe for the hospital grade stuff. And I showed people how easy it was. And some people took it out of context and said, Durianrider, blah, 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 you're on steroids and you've got that steroid residue in your body. And I was like, you've never taken steroids and you don't understand how it works. I'd go to your doctor and take the gear, you know what I mean? And then you'll see what's going on. The only drug cyclists really benefit from for one day hill climb stuff like Strava, 455 watts up Norton Summits, there's people doing that, would be EPO. That's just like the one. And another one's called prednisone, or another corticosteroid style. But prednisone is just like, I've taken that before for my cat allergy. And I seriously, I was like, went to a hotel for the weekend just to get away from the cats. And just could hardly breathe. I was like, what do I do here? And so I googled it up. And I took a little prednisone pill, and I was just like, oh my God. No wonder this stuff is banned in running and cycling. Sort of banned, but it's hard to detect for. But that shit is strong. Wow. It was like insane. And I took like a little low dose. And so some of these people doing like corticosteroid injections, like Bradley Wiggins and that were doing that. And that's just like, fucking jeez, man. That's some powerful shit. And I would say our friend Cookie Man, I would love to do blood tests with him. I would love to do blood tests with him when he's in good form. But that will never happen. Anyway, so that's the deal. People can say what they want. Very transparent with what I've taken, why I've taken, etc. I've done plenty of videos back in 2014, millions of views. So people go, you got caught out for steroids and stuff. I made videos in 2014 showing people the whole setup. And one thing I can honestly say is that it didn't help my climbing at all. It made me climb worse. It definitely, testosterone will help you sprint. But in my opinion, testosterone put 6-7 kilos on me, which is basically like riding a bike with 6 kilos of water in bottles and a saddlebag. Get a big saddlebag on your bike and put a 6 kilo bladder of water in there, and that's what it's like when you're on gear. It doesn't help you at all. And now people say, hang on, there's some pro cyclists who get caught with testosterone, aka Phil's good friend Tom Danielson got busted, suspended, busted testosterone. Why was he taking that if it's not helping? Well, I think if you're training the house down and your testosterone levels are low, then taking a little bit to get up into the healthy levels is going to be beneficial. All right? So, but I wouldn't say it's performance enhancing. I would say it's health maintaining. Me, myself, I don't live a lifestyle where I'm running my teeth into the ground. 1, you see how little I train. 2, I'm not doing any stage races. I've got a really, really easy lifestyle. I've got this behind me. I've got, I got the good life. I've got the fucking easy life. I've got no kids. Unless you include Natasha. I've got no debt. I don't really have a real job. This is no real job. I love to do this. I do this for free. I do this for free for years. I do it for free anytime. I love it. So I don't have anything stressful that's running me into the ground. I get all the sleep I want. I get all great nutrition. Always hydrated. Always hydrated. Always carved up. And look at me. Do I look pretty relaxed and chill? I think I do. So I honestly believe it's not. I don't believe testosterone is a performance enhancing drug. Unless, again, if you're clinically deficient, it'll help you get up to certain levels. Because if you are T deficient, which I've never been, then you will have anemia. All right. So let's say you're an anorexic male, then you will have some issues with anemia. If you look at my blood results, B12 injections, etc., no worries there. So there you go. That's my thoughts, opinions, and experiences on testosterone, steroids in general. They will only help someone who's deficient, and they'll help someone who's a stage racer recover day to day. They'll help with that. But again, I mean, Natasha smashes most guys, and all my girlfriends who ride bikes over time become very, very dominant on the hills, and they're female, and you can tell they're not on any testosterone because they look like women. You know, if you're a woman taking T, then you'll become sort of more masculine than you used to be, which is fine. No, nothing wrong with that. But we see that. We see the times Natasha's doing, etc. What they're doing, then that goes to show you that testosterone is performance enhancing, in my opinion, especially for men. Maybe for women it can be, definitely. If you turn a woman into a man, that can be good for climbing. But otherwise, it's the EPO and the corticosteroids. That's where the power is right there. No, I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying that's what people are really. That's the big stuff. If you're just doing tests, then you ain't gonna notice much improvement at all, unless you're clinically deficient, and then you will have more energy. But it's not going to help you with your watts, and I've proven that with my. You don't see any real spikes in power over the last, 9 years I've been on Strava. Only 9 years, 10 years almost on Strava this year. So there you go. I hope that answers the question. Just trying to be transparent. But yeah, it's it doesn't help.
What the rules are, and I've always taken the utmost care